when I did this experiment in my 9th standard, I remember that the snail was able to keep this in memory for a week. Like we repeated this with 4 snails. One of was not giving proper response, but the rest of the 3 snails, they were showing that for 1 week, if I give a range, and around 5 days to 7 days, it was able to remember this memory of quinine, the good taste of the bad taste of quinine and the smell of coconut.
Any more questions? Ask.
There was one slide in which Tikal showed the life cycle of snail. So I wanted to know how she captured that all the stages in one picture.
So Abhijit, I have a question to ask. Why don't we go through the regular maintenance of the snails? Because as we are facing troubles with maintenance of snail, shouldn't we tell the other CUBists about it? Because the cleaning part of the snail, as we are facing it, so shouldn't the other CUBists be informed about it?
Actually, can you go back to the slide of the how to culture snail? Just sorry for yeah. And actually, this was supposed to come in the discussion part of this thing, but we didn't like the guy was adding the slide of how to maintain snails, but we deliberately kept it there, even if it is not what we CUBists are doing. But when this comes in a discussion, so she knows that how we are doing it, and then she can learn from all the others and how she can improve on her culture setup. Now, the problem which Vatsal is saying that we are facing, the problem is not of snails, the problem is of us.
But still,
the problem is
home culture, like many other people would also face it. So isn't it an important?
As I said again, the problem is not of snails, the problem is of us. So what problem is he referring to is that when the snail is kept in a basket, and the basket is kept in a tray which contains water, because the water will create an environment like monsoon when the snails are very active. We don't want the snails to be very inactive and do experiments. That is not correct. So we create a monsoon-like environment for the snails to be there. Now the problem is that when we put the food in 2 to 3 days, if it is not maintained, it is supposed to be cleaned every day. The setup is supposed to be cleaned every day. But what we are doing, we are skipping in between. So the problem is of us and not the snail. And that's why the whole lab is taking the third day. So same way as Tikal is doing in this place, Tikal also improvise on this her setup that she can use a basket and it is to be cleaned every day. So that the stinking problem is not there.
So Abhijit, I have a question. So when the Cube Hub started in Somia, so there was one snail bought by the student. Its name was Dexter. So after 6 months almost, it laid few eggs, right? So have you seen such behavior in hermaphrodites where they can lay eggs after several duration also? Like even if there is no partner for the mating, so can they lay eggs? Can they store? Have you seen some phenomenon?
What she's trying to say is that it was isolated. It was living as a single person for 6 months altogether. And after 6 months, we get to see that it is laying eggs. It did not have a mate for the entire 6 months period.
Even the conditions was same throughout the, as you said, when you keep a bowl of water or the plate, so it creates an environment like monsoon. But there was the same environment in the lab for the 6 months. So have you seen any behavior in other snails?
Yeah, this behavior is expected from the an organism like hermaphrodite because it has both the male and the female organs. So if it doesn't get a mate, the male organ will fertilize the female organ where the
So there is transfer of gametes within
self-fertilization will take place and the eggs will be laid. Actually, we did when I started, we didn't culture a single snail, and in the cube soma that's the only case where we cultured a single snail. So that also for me was a experience. But this is expected behavior from the hermaphrodites. Even earthworms, when they are alone, they have both the organs. Self-fertilization takes place and they produce the fruits.
But I guess hermaphrodites is always through mating. I really doubt whether it happens this way.
Do you have any reference that they can do the self-fertilization?
I will share it with the group. I will share.
Yeah, we can take.
Yes.
Okay, thank you everybody.
So by the time I request the next group, Seasonomics.
So next we have Seasonomics. So among the 17 model system, which one is your favorite? If you not have any answer, kindly listen to this. Here we are representing the what collaboration is. Here the every data that we are plotted here is the collaborative effort taken by the CUBists from different parts of our country. So if you don't have any selective or particular interest in any of these 16 model system, kindly patiently listen to this Seasonomics presentation. So we are human beings. We are interacting with the environment. If we look around, we are seeing several birds, plants, animals. All are there. So are we ever think of what they are doing in our surroundings? As a plant background person, if we look surrounding, we can see not only we, everyone can see the flower is blooming, the flower is fruiting. So as for Preeti ma'am is very much interested to birds. So how the birds is, how the cuckoo calling is happening. So as a human beings, if we look around, so we are seeing several things. So this Seasonomics presentation is about that. So we are getting different seasons. Among that season, we are collecting the data and we are trying to analyze those data. So this is the collaborative effort taken by CUBists from different parts of the country. So as I mentioned, not only trees, we can also go for animals, in a plant, birds. All we can take a look and try to analyze what their behavior in each season, and we can try to make a graph, or we can analyze in each season what they are doing. So we are collecting the samples from different parts of the country, and we are trying to analyze in each season what they are doing.
So the basic seasonomic, when I got introduced to the seasonomic, it started with the mango mapping. Like first I observed the Arun sir's message on the WhatsApp group context to curriculum, and he put the picture of the mango which is flowering and wrote a caption, "Kuch kuch hota hai these days." And so, are you aware of what happening in the environment? And then I got curious to look to the environment, like, and mango specifically because like in majority part of the India we do get mangoes. So mangoes is not something which is very much hard. Mango plants are not much hard to find, and thus, and moreover it is a seasonal fruit. So we don't get mango all over the year round. So there is a particular season in which we get the fruits. And so we actually started taking the mango pics, and Sushanta sir is one such great person with us who took the mango pics while traveling from the train across, like till the Assam when he was traveling. So we get a huge kind of data, and many a times many people will start clicking and sending the photos on the WhatsApp group. So so the cycle of the mango is like they will start sprouting the new leaves, then we will be observing flowering, then fruiting, and after the fruiting, then there will be a phase where the plant will not show much changes, and again the cycle continues. There we can see the new leaves sprouting, and again the flowering will start, and the cycle continues. So at different month of the year, in all the different days, the same mango tree can be seen in different stages. Next. This is the cycle.
So on the March equinox, we have unripened fruits which are started to get there. Till June we get it, and again in September near the equinox we are able to observe the flowering. And in December, the fruits have been observed which are very tender unripe fruits.
Okay, so once I said that, sir, I will not join chatShaala in coming 3 days. So sir said, sir, Arvind sir asked me why that. So sir, yeah, me said that me and Lakshmi have an interview at Thiruvananthapuram, so we are going there. So why don't you take some observation of flowering? So this is maybe a good observation that you are making, like traveling this much of place. So me and Lakshmi, she's my travel partner. Wherever we go, she's with me. So we do have an interview for a same post. We have the time competition, but unfortunately we didn't get that. So that also we equally shared. So here we are trying to say about our journey. So as I mentioned, I am from the southern part of India, that is in Kerala. So this is our Kerala, and okay. So in Kerala, I am in Kozhikode. So I want to attend an interview at the Thiruvananthapuram. So Kozhikode to Thiruvananthapuram. How will be the behavior of this flowering, fruiting, and the leaves sprouting in mango trees? So that's what we want to know. Is there any latitude? Have any influence in any of these things? So keeping that in our minds, me and Lakshmi started our journey. So I have started this journey at 5 a.m. morning. And that I am from 11 degree north and I want to reach 8 degree north. So in between, Lakshmi is joined from 8 degree north, 9 degree north. So this is what we have, this graphs or this shows our traveling. So this is our memory also. Like I had traveled from Kozhikode, so that is 11 degree north. Then Lakshmi is joined at the 9 degree, then we is 8 degree. So is there any interesting observation we came across? So after interview finish, we went to chatShaala again. So sir asked, what about flowering is there in there? So we said, sir, we have collected the data, but we didn't analyze that. Why? We can analyze now. So Lakshmi is in kitchen. She said, where is our data? But she have the photo. So she said, you say first. So I have the summary of the things. So in chatShaala moderation section also we try to manage this. I said, then I will say first, you will take wherever they are in, we can collect that. And also this is the chatShaala sections. So here you can see this is the data we are analyzing chatShaala. So here is the essence of chatShaala. So 7:30 to 9:30 what we are doing in chatShaala. So for analyzing a data, if I sit along, Lakshmi sit along, it is very difficult. But at that day, Kiran ma'am is with us, Arvind sir is with us. These 4 people I remember is still there. So we are very confused to calculate all these things. And also I still remember that we are while taking the pictures, we are collecting the photos of mangoes. We are taking flowering or not, fruiting or not, leaves sprouting or not. So we don't have a proper systematic things is in there. So we struggled a lot. Is it flowering? Is it fruiting? Is it combined? Then we understood that the fruiting is there, the flowering must be there. So why you are focusing on flowering plus fruiting? So fruiting is there, the flowering is also there. So then we got the idea that okay, what all things we need to think or what all things we want to analyze by collecting a data. That also we understood by that 2-hour discussion. Why? Because that much we struggled to analyze that data. So but the end is very beautiful. So like we are traveled from, we have 17 districts in Kerala. So I am in here to here. What we observed is that, so mango. So as I believe that we all are familiar with the mangoes, that the sweets, and we all have favorite fruits, maybe mangoes. So the king of fruits. So what we observe is that we also looking the leaves are sprouting, the flowers are there, or the fruit. These are the 3 criteria we were taken. It is in the month of September.
It's written 16
November
September.
22.
But the journey is in 11th September, I guess. After that, we came across, we had this discussion. Now, can we go to next slide? And also, I mentioned these are the collected data of me and Lakshmi. So So as we look these things like we are traveling in a bus. I forgot to mention that we are traveling in a KSRTC bus. We are in the side seat of KSRTC bus, so we are collectively taken the photos. And among this is the data that we were analyzed. So from 11 degree to 8 degree. So if we look here, the flowering Kozhikode to Malappuram, that is 11 to 11. That is a small difference is there, but the flowering not have any much things. We can't conclude anything from that. But the interesting thing that we observed is coming to the fruiting. The fruiting, here the fruiting is 0, 5%, 11, 14.2, 25. So among this data, we are getting something. The flowering, we can avoid the flowering and new leaves sprouting. But the fruiting is make us interesting. Okay, so the fruiting is higher in Thiruvananthapuram than Kozhikode. So we are getting that, okay, there are some, our hypothesis also like that, that you do have a role. So the fruiting is coinciding with our hypothesis. So the coming to the latitude, Thiruvananthapuram is in the 8 degree north, Kozhikode is in the 11 degree north. So fruiting is higher in the Thiruvananthapuram, that is in the 8 degree north. So whether the latitude have any role. So this from this travel, I guess we can conclude something. We are near to our hypothesis, but we should continuously do it. I guess we are from different parts of our country, so we are traveling back. In this campus also there are mango trees. We can survey those and we can try to analyze is the hypothesis true or false.
She will repeat her interviews again and again for
Oh my God.
Don't say that.
in different parts of the country. So, so this map shows us the spread of our data which we have collected. So we can see that we have data from Gujarat. Yeah, so Girman Nagar, Gujarat, is the westest point that we have from, and the Assam, which Janta sir stays at. The name. Yeah, northeast part. I forgot. Sappegati Assam. There. And also we have our data from some places in Singapore, and then we have from Ladakh as well. So this data is spread. Now the data is a little bit less in this part of region from Chhattisgarh. We have some observation from because of Bhagwati ma'am and her collaborators, and it is a little bit less in the region because maybe it's a Thar desert, so maybe more mango trees are not found in that region. So this is the spread of the data. Can we go ahead, Kiran? So if we so this is the data which we have plotted. So we can see that the yellow dots represent the trees are flowering, the green dot represents its fruiting, and the grey dots represent that it is non-flowering tree. So this is the data which we plotted of Mango Map 2020 and 21. Sorry. So we can see here that the data when we see, so this is just for the showing the plot of the data and the color coordinates. We'll see the data in very clear sense in the next slide. Okay, next slide. Yes, so this is the comparison of data sets in December 2017 and December 2020. So here we have a little data on December 2017. From in the month of December, there is fruiting started in the southern part of India and is reaching up to Mumbai. And in the northern part, the data is less, but here we are not able to see any observations of that kind. This was 2017 when this this is not covered. So when these things are taking up pace, like I remember in 2017 I was also there, but we're trying to get more collaborators at that time, so that's why the data is very sparse in that sense. But if we compare it with 2020, when the seasonomics become more famous and people are more aware of mango trees and in all the groups the data comes, so we just collate it and I will show you how it will be collated. This is of December 2020. So we can see here that the green part represents the fruiting has started. The yellow says that the flowering has started. So we can see a clear pattern that flowering is starting from this place. Fruiting has reached till here, and here it is going from south to north direction. So the flowering starts from the southern region. As Deepsa mentioned, somewhere around, if she's able to observe fruiting in the month of September, then the flowering must have started from August or July end, somewhere like that. So maybe right now we might be able to find some flowering trees in Kerala if we contact our collaborators from Kerala. So yeah, can we go ahead, Kiran? This is of January and February. So the next month, after December. Next. No, the previous. Yes. So no, the next one after December, January 2017 and 2000.
December we discussed and what January.
It's January and February. Yes, yes. So here we can see the fruiting has moved more up. Flowering now is prominently seen. Some part has non-flowering trees in the December 2017. And if we again come to December 2021, the same pattern can be seen. The flowering is reaching up. The fruiting is reaching up with the flowering. A less number of trees can be seen which are non-flowering, and more number of trees are increasing towards the northern direction. So it is progressing from flowering to fruiting. It is progressing from southern part of India to the northern part of India. Yes, can you go ahead? Next February 2021, the same thing like the fruiting is reaching to the Mumbai region and the flowering and it is progressing towards the. Yes, Kiran, can you go ahead? So in March, we can see the data has become less, but of just March month in 2021, fruiting is reached to northern region from Delhi and Rajasthan area, Kolkata area, and it's your data is little less, but we can just see that the fruiting is reaching Assam region and all the parts, but we could exactly conclude something because data is very less of April 2021. Yes. Aditya will continue.
So the seasonomics actually started with the mango mapping, but mango is not the only thing which we are observing. Many new members are just adding up in this seasonomics because seasonomics not is only related to mango. So these are certain few features of what all members we have. So here in this we can see this is Gulmohar, and behind that is I think Cassia Fistula, that is the golden shower tree. And Gulmohar, I think it's recently flowered in the initial end, that is end of the summers and starting of the monsoon. Next. Yeah, these are the photos taken by Preeti ma'am, that is of copper pot tree which is called Sonmoha, and two copper pot trees blossom twice a year, that is 26th January there and 21st September there. So there are certain trees which may flower only once, or do they flower twice in the year? Yeah, also jungli badam, which are frequently seen in the garden complexes and all. So in this month, we can see that not all, that is before somewhere around winters, like initial part of the winters, before starting of the winters, there is more kind of greenery and red leaves have been less. But in the winters, that is in Jan, we can see majority of the jungli badam is shedding its leaves. So it's all red leaves and yellow leaves and it's shedding away. Again, Cassia fistula and golden shower tree. Also, there is a thing which is said about the Cassia fistula, that is once the Cassia fistula flowers, we can expect rains in 2 or 3 months or 2.5 months. So by taking the observe, we can actually verify whether the saying is true or it's just a saying. Next. Here we can also see the ants actually. Even these are the devil trees in the month of September, which were in front of the CHM college. So any one of the person who is clicking the photo, like CHM college in National Mumbai, so I will be clicking the photo and asking what is the status of devil's tree in rest part of the country. And Batul ma'am from Kolkata will say whether they have started flowering or fruiting, and Chitra ma'am from Delhi will say whether it is flowering or fruiting and pods have been produced. So we can get the data at the same same time interval from various parts of the countries. Next.
Now I'll be listening to cuckoo calls. Please play the video.
Cuckoo calling at 8:38 a.m. Today's date is 22nd March 2021. Cuckoo calling on 11 April 2021. The time is 10:40 a.m. The pitch is slowly increasing. Cuckoo calling, different tone, 15th April 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Female cuckoo calling on 17 June 2021. Time is 17:42. Male cuckoo calling on 29 June 2021. Female cuckoo calling on the same time. Male cuckoo calling on 17. Male cuckoo calling on 29 June 2021. Female cuckoo calling at the same time. Time is 17:50. Cuckoo calling on 16 May 2021. Time is 7:19. It is just before the cyclone Tokte is coming. It's 6:38 p.m. 3rd June 2020. Yes.
Okay, so I hope everyone was alert about what they were hearing. Now, please tell me how many different types of cuckoo calls you heard. And you have to also tell what were the calls.
Types of tones.
Like, you can sing that and just tell me the lyrics.
Sir is saying 3 to 4.
Okay, could you say what were it?
Can you repeat the sound of cuckoo? This was one.
सुने तो थे चार अलग लेकिन अभी याद
Let's record. Okay, one more. Anyone else? What about the female call?
So this one is female? No? अरे क्या बात कर रहे हो?
He wants to record.
Audience were attentive or not?
Yeah, just for the recording, okay? Just for the recording.
Group में share करते हैं.
I think all were
खुद
male
देख लो.
cuckoos, right?
There was a female cuckoo as well
I don't read.
in the video.
Register.
Okay. We'll see it in the next slide. As she wants to try one.
Yeah, try.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you mentioned, one was cuckoo call, and the second one was the pitch increasing. And the female cuckoo call. Can we click on this thing? The third one.
Blue one?
Third
Third blue.
Third blue.
Let's listen to the female cuckoo call. Can you hear? And this is how it goes. The male cuckoo has two types. One is cuckoo and the other is a pitch increasing one, cuckoo, which he quoted. And the female is doing quick, 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 the one which we heard right now.
Okay.
Next slide. So this is the cuckoo calling which we have recorded, some records. And there are many other CUBists who have also been capturing cuckoo calls. Now what we will do it with this cuckoo calls? Let's see some interesting questions.
It was a letter student.
Go on slide.
need of recording. Slide please.
The link was given in the slides, so I put that.
Okay. So one thing which we observed was cuckoo is waking up early in summers as compared to the winters. Now this is our hypothesis based on some data. Now we invite all the CUBists to collaborate on this, whether the cuckoo is waking up early along with summers as per the sunrise, and whether it is going to sleep early in winters. Okay, so can we click on the data? No,
Meta Studio link. Next slide.
it's the same cuckoo ball only. Can you go on the presentation? So if you observe, the timing of sunrise on 31st of January was 7:13 a.m. and that time the first cuckoo call was heard at 6:52 a.m. The link was taken to the same cuckoo calls only, but here the timing is important. We have already heard how the cuckoo call is. Then on 9th of February, the timing of sunrise is 7:10 a.m. and the cuckoo call was heard at 6:42 a.m. And in March, 13th March, the timing of sunrise was 6:49 a.m. and the timing of cuckoo call was 6:29 a.m. Now these are some very odd observations, but we can see cuckoo waking up early in summer is corresponding to timing of sunrise. So it can be called as a sign of summer approaching, right? So here we are connecting cuckoo with the circadian rhythm group, and we invite all the collaborators to capture more such data. Now, while cuckoo is having these calls, there's another bird who's also doing something. Let's look at that. So, before we start with the story, does anyone have an idea of how is cuckoo and crow related?
They are blue parasites.
The cuckoos lay eggs in the crow's nest, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so we should be very much alert to see when the cuckoo is making these mating calls and the crow is building a nest. Are they correlated? Right?
Yeah.
So we should, let's see the crow nesting story which I have been able to capture. And
Hello guys, today is 15th of April 2023. Time is 15:55 and we can see a crow is building a nest. I can hear a male cuckoo call in the background,
crow is building nest and
which is
cuckoo is
increasing
also
slowly. How crows pamper each other. Today is 1st May 2023, time is 9:12 am. We can see there's a crow nest. Two crows are sitting over it and they are pampering each other. Today is 21st May 2023. We can see the beak of small crow babies and the crow is feeding the child. Oh my god, the pinkish colored.
in the next video you'll
Time
be
is
able to see.
15:36, 21st May 2023. The other crow has now gone, now went to. It's 27 May 2023, time is 12:30, and we can see two crows and two crow babies. Oh my god, you can see the pink colored beak, and the crows are feeding the crow babies.
I'm not sure whether they are both are the crow babies or either of it is a cuckoo baby because they are too small and we can just see the
It's 12
beaks.
June 2023, time is 6:42 am. We know the crow had built a nest over here, and then because of some construction work which was creating a lot of noise, he abandoned this nest. And now, here on another tree, we can see a crow nest. Today is 12 June 2023, time is 6:42 am. We can see a new nest built by the tree and a male cuckoo call.
So here the crow nest was there and we were following up, but the crow shifted their nest on a taller tree. I thought initially it is because of the noise which was going, they were making some mosaic constructions over at the ground floor. And then now the crow has shifted it to a higher tree. Now my mom says ki when the rains are going to be, when there's going to be a heavy rainfall, the crows will build a nest on a tree at a higher level. So we can analyze this hypothesis if this is true. So we invite all other CUBists also to collaborate in the data so that we understand more about cuckoo and crow. Next, I'll hand over to.
Thank you, Preeti. Now, as we've been talking about seasonomics, and a lot of things here is related to the kind of data we are sharing and how relevantly we are taking the pictures and photographs. So there are certain instructions and guidelines as CUBists we want to share with the upcoming collaborators. Taking pictures should not be against the light. Like if you're taking the mango tree picture, the light should not be coming from that side because we get a dark this thing. And then the camera position, 1, 2, and 3. The picture should cover the whole tree, if not then most part of the tree. These two instructions are very important because you people are sharing data and we are not able to use it and it is dark or the whole canopy is not visible or the leaves are not clear. So this was for that. For next slide, please. Now here, this is a picture which is not so good. This one is fairly good enough, and this is very good picture. Can anyone of the audience tell why this is not so good? Can any of you please answer this question? The first picture we have written, it's not so good.
Hydra.
Can you please tell? I just gave 2 instructions.
It's against the light.
Please give her the mic. Everybody should, learning outcome should be very clear.
Against the light.
This picture is against the light is coming from that side. Is the whole tree visible? No. This is fairly good because canopy is there. If you just make a close-up, you can see the fruits. And this is a very good picture where the flowering is seen very clearly. Next slide, please. Now here we are addressing the research question, why study about mango mapping, why we should take pictures of mango tree, fruiting, flowering, non-flowering, new leaves coming. So there is a short-term question, how does the flowering and fruiting pattern changes across the latitudes? What plant and animal interactions are happening every day in our vicinity and why such interactions are happening? Is any seasonal pattern observed? What is the difference in flowering of a particular tree in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere? The long-term question is, does the climate change shift the flowering patterns as we move northward from south? And next is, does the plant-animal interaction show any shift on their seasonal patterns? If yes, then why? And how they are adapting to such changes. So this is very important for us to know why we are sharing the data, why we are doing the mapping. These are the important questions that we all, because today we are going to add this presentations will help us collaborate with new model organisms. So we should know what questions we are addressing. Next slide, please. Kiran, next slide, please.
Kiran, next.
Now here are, it's just, an awareness for different types of mango. One of the best fruits, Alfonso from Maharashtra, Himsagar, West Bengal, Chausa, UP. That is what I see in Kanpur, Hyderabad. Sapeda, very popular in our city. Amrapali, Dasera. Sindhu, Ratna, Alfonso. Arka, Aruna. This is, I think, which part of the country will get this? I would want to know because I get to see these 2 more. Ratna, Neelam, and Alfonso. So this is basically identifying one of the most important fruits and how important it can be as a model organism to study seasonomics. Thank you. Over to Abhijit. Next slide, please.
How to take. Can you go back? Yeah, so I will just tell you about how we collect all this data and how it is how we get the map out of it of all these observations. This is the Cobo Toolbox platform where we share the link of the website to CUBists who are doing this. And so there is a list of water organisms, mango, silica, other seasonal behaviors that can choose. If it is about tree, mango tree, then it is sprouting, flowering, or fruiting. And then if any more information is required, they are observing any interesting things they can add here. If it's audio, like as of a cuckoo call or any other thing like an audio, they can put it here. The picture is uploaded here, and if any additional photo is required, it is uploaded and it is submitted. This all comes to a database, Cobo Toolbox. Can we go ahead? And this is the observation as of yet. So this Cobo Toolbox I think started in 2021. Since it is being recorded on this platform, and till today, till July 17th, we have 2,129 observations from all the CUBists across country. So these many people have shared their observations in our Cobo tool of mango data, and it is spread across this class of people. How many centers? 110. How many CUBists? 150. And since 2020, we are collecting this data.
And uploading this data also helps in data analysis. So whatever maps which Abhijit showcased, how did we get to know what is happening where? This data, all the CUBists which are sharing, that is accumulated and we are calculating through this tool.
So thank you so much all for. So I hope Keetha is successful in creating her favorite model system now.
For this section in the WhatsApp group. So, and the next group can go ahead. Hydra.
Good evening, everyone. Myself Sakshi Velosi from CubeLab Bangalore, and these are my collaborators, Brendas Tribhuvan and Khushi. So, who have been culturing Hydra. So,
मैम दो वीडियो प्ले हो गया ना दो वीडियो
So this is a photographic representation of Hydra where we can see the budding region, its basal disc, tentacles, and head, gastric region, body column. So it's not just Hydra; it is a chlorohydra, and it has a symbiotic relationship with chlorella. Here we can see the brown hydra, which one of the CUBists has got, whose name is Rachel. And here we can see the structure of hydra, which shows its tentacles, mouth, gastrovascular cavity, etc. This is a brown hydra which she got in her home lab. She collected the water from pond and she identified it as a brown hydra. So Hydra belongs to kingdom Animalia, phylum Nidaria, class Hydrozoa, order Angoethiceta, and family Hydridae, and genus Hydra. Now, what makes Hydra a model system is Hydra is a fresh water polyp which has the ability to regenerate. It shares genes with humans, and it is a great model system for aging studies, as well as it has symbiosis with chlorella. Also, it has a simple body plan, so we can study regeneration in Hydra, and it has self-renewable stem cells. Next. So how do we culture Hydra? Is we take here we have taken 80 ml of dechlorinated water in 100 ml beaker. Then we have transferred hydras into the beaker. and we have feed. By using a dropper, we can transfer the hydras into the beaker, and for feeding, we feed Moinas to those hydra and cover the beaker with a muslin cloth or any mesh so that there is proper aeration. This part will be explained by Kushi.
So this is a picture of the culture that they prepare. This is the culture of Home Lab Badlapur, and here there are two pictures. Yeah, this is Sakshi's model system of Hydra, and these are the photos that she took. These are the Hydra, brown Hydra of Rachel. And this is Abhijit's home lab from Kerala. This is again Ranchi's home lab culture. We have a video.
Hydra is feeding Moina, Moina is feeding one Hydra.
So here the Hydra is engulfing the Moina. So whenever Hydra is in contact or it is in movement with something, it contracts. So it by the stinging cells that it has, it paralyzes the Moina. So it releases some toxins and kills the Moina. Can we move on to the next slide?
So the green Hydra that we usually see, it is green because it has chlorella in itself. So chlorella and Hydra lives in a symbiotic relationship. So chlorella depends on Hydra because Hydra transfers glutamine. It is an amino acid, and that glutamine is taken up by the chlorella, by which it can metabolize and generate nitrogen for it, for its growth. Whereas Hydra, the chlorella, since it is photosynthetic, it provides sugar that acts as a food source for Hydra. And that is why there is a symbiotic relationship of chlorella and Hydra, and we together call it as chlorohydra.
So here was our objective was to study the regeneration in the chlorohydra. So we tried to amputate the hydra to study regeneration. So this was done at the home labs. So we did some jugaad. We get the ice trace. So in that ice trace we get the white bangle. So it is like hydras are much more visible to the in the ice trace. So this was the amputation done of the head and the body. Like we cut below the head. This was the second. This is the H1 and the T1. This was the remaining body and the head. This was after 2 days. And the other head and the gastric part, it was one hydra was cut into the 3 pieces to see whether it regenerates or not. So here are our home lab cultures. So after studying regeneration, we found that hydras were still regenerating. Then we made subculture of those hydras. So this was the experimental study setup to find the symbiosis and life expectancy in dark and without feeding. So what do you think? So this was to find whether the symbiosis really happens in the hydra or not. So we kept it in sunlight with no feed. So we were still noticing that hydra still survives in sunlight like for around 15 days without feed. And then we see the chlorella coming out of the hydra, and we found the transparent hydra then. This was the kept in dark to study the hydra in dark conditions, covered with a box. So, like no sunlight or any source of light can pass into the box. The other was after the hydra was the transplant, the corner photo. We saw that the hydra was still gaining its color after being transferred after carrying out this experiment in lab. So this was the transparent hydra. This is the initial hydra. After the experiment, we found this transparent hydra, and that is the chlorella that that was coming out of the hydra. So this was done some imaging techniques to see how the capture images of the hydra in detail. So he is my senior from he's currently at IIC Bangalore. So he developed this technique to capture. Can we play that video, please?
Is it by the link that is given?
We have the link below.
I'm clicking on the video, but we need to go to.
We'll share that in WhatsApp.
So this was the imaging technique that we used. We get laser light. So the laser light we get that as the micro lens, if you all know. So we dissected that laser light and we found this lens. So this lens is very much useful. So it magnifies hydra so much that there is no need of microscope. So it is done much more at the cheaper level. So this was the photo taken after using the micro lens. So this was the causally going on at the HBCS. So he is Arif. So what he basically did is, what do you feed hydra? So he carried out experiment to check whether the hydra feeds on Moina, and after that onwards we tried to use the Moina as the feed for the hydra. So this is chloro. Can you move on? So this is chlorohydra after and before the feeding. So before feeding, it has the state tube extraction, and after the feeding, it engulfs the Moina. So you find the gastric region.
Yes.
So as we can see that Hydra has much more potential than any organism to regenerate. So we have connected this with the research, the Nobel Prize recipients for physiology or medicine. So John Gordon and Shinya Yamanaka for the discovery of mature cells, which can be reprogrammed to become the pluripotent cells. She was the this lady was the first one to work on the Hydra. So what she did, she amputated the Hydra and found that the head part and the basal part, head and the tail, both the parts were regenerating. Because of her, Spearman got the Nobel Prize in 1935 for organizing effect of embryonic development. So these are the group of celebrations. So a year ago, Hydra culture was being passed to the Somaya lab. This was so they lost the culture. There were around 50 to 60 Hydras. So
Steve, this is what we do every time.
So basically, it was the group of girls. So group ups are basically sometimes we are busy, so we don't give updates or we fail to give updates or we have exams. So and sometimes the bad content especially during exams, the culture daily, but the culturing and the maintenance technique is not to be followed during the exams, maybe sometimes. Second is milk in Hydra culture. So our collaborators, instead of feeding milk to the Moina, sometimes they feed milk to the Hydra. So they lost the culture due to some bacterial use. and then not changing the order. So when we feed Moina to the Hydra, we find like some debris in the detritus in the beaker. So we need to change it if we find any detritus in the beaker. Third is the gaps and misconceptions. When we this is to like I have to say this to everyone. When we collaborate with each other or pass on to the hydroculture to the other person, it is our responsibility to take updates from there and collaborate with them and work with them. Fourth is not making work subculture. So if we are doing any experiment, we only take around 2 or 3 subcultures, and eventually sometimes even we lost them. So I suggest like making around 5 to 6 cultures, as Arnan sir says. Like I have lost around 2 cultures, so we need to change the way of doing the techniques. So that's thank you.
Questions for this session will again take in the WhatsApp groups. So that we have Ashutosh share something.
Yeah, okay. So as we are heading towards the winding up session, I think this, I should say, I think this is the right time that I should be stating about this. So I'll very briefly, because we don't have much time, I'll very briefly talk about the story of Cube over here at Somaya. So right now this particular national meet is organized by Kishore Bhati, hosted by the KJ Somaya College of Science and Commerce, supported by Somaya Center for Experiential Learning. But to talk about how Cube started over here, so if you go to the next slide. Yeah, so I think I'll ask Arunan. So I joined this Cube project back in 2012 as a junior research fellow back in 2012 at HBCAC. And Arunan, I would ask you to maybe identify this particular photo if you could remember where this is. Kolkata. So I said Kolkata. So when we started, so I have known the Cube project right since 2012 till so these many years. So when I joined Somaya, we had Parth Bapat as the head, and Arunan would know that Parth Bapat had been interacting with them. So he always wanted to start Cube over here, and then when he realized that when I joined under him, he wanted to revive Cube culture over here at Somaya. Okay, so because these many years since 2012 I had been associated with Cube, he wanted me to take the lead. Okay, so can we go to the next slide then? Okay, so because I joined this particular center, Somaya Center for Experiential Learning, and under the umbrella of experiential learning, he wanted the Cube project to be started in Somaya. Okay, and this is my team. So Ashutosh Mure, this is me. Then we have Shashank Bhosle, he was there yesterday, if anyone would have noticed. And then we have Apurva Patil, right, who is right with us. She has been here for all the 4 days. So what we did is, our team, we had a word with the college of the KJ Somaya College of Science and Commerce, and to see to it that this really happens, we formed a team over here at the college. So the Somaya Cube committee of the KJ Somaya Science and Commerce College, Meena Patankar ma'am, Kiran Sube ma'am, Divya ma'am, and Madhuri ma'am. 3 of us are here with us right now. So Parth Bapat wanted us to revive Cube culture, be along the Somaya Center for Experiential Learning, along with this particular team from the college. We started Cube. okay, in the college. So next slide. Okay, and then we had been trying lot many things to encourage the students, the first year students. Over here you will see that I'm trying to interact with the first year students. Abhijit and I were having induction sessions, like we making them understand the gully cricket model. We wanted to involve them in many different projects. So this we were doing last year, and we started with a few projects last year. We also every monthly we release a newsletter. The Somaya Center for Experiential Learning releases a newsletter on some particular topic, and I insisted, Parth sir, that we could actually have one of the newsletters on the theme of Cube. So we also have one particular newsletter on the theme of Cube. We could share that to you. But then the idea is that we started with all those projects that we have in these presentations. We started with a few of those projects in the college, with the hope of establishing Somaya as a hub. Now, so I would just want to, rather than going into the details, we started with the snail experiments, the olfactory experiment. We started with earthworm regeneration. We started with fruit fly, and we wanted to involve the SY students and the FY students. And there were certain activities that were really happening. They were posting on and off on the chatShaala. But then what is important is what I go next. Yeah, the goof-ups, right? We need to be celebrating the goof-ups. So last year when we started, we could not really, we started with it, but the activities weren't sustainable, as in we could not sustain those activities. So it's important, like in every presentation that we had over here, we talk about the goof-ups and we celebrate the goof-ups. So what are the goof-ups? The goof-ups are, I think I would want to talk it in terms of the 3 C's of Cube. That is collaboration, communication, and continuity. Right? So we had the students do these projects, and then what happened is, then we had the NAC committee coming in, okay? And the Cube lab, where we had all these cultures, all of a sudden we did not have access to the Cube lab, the very Cube lab that we were all in. And then, what is easy? It is easy to say that, the NAC committee came, so we couldn't really do things. Hum kya karte, right? NAC committee aayi, 6 mahine hum kuch nahi kar sake. Is something we could say, but I think it's important that we understand that where is the fault? The fault is in the fact that we realize that when the Cube lab, if the Cube lab is the only thing that we have, okay, then it's certainly going to fail. Where we failed is where we encourage the students to maintain the Cube lab, but we should have also encouraged the students to have home labs, right? We should have encouraged the students to have home labs. Now, how could that have happened? Okay, that could have happened through collaboration, where if they keep interacting with all other CUBists, okay, and communication. They were updating on chatShaala, but they had to be regular on. So they were updating on the contextual curriculum group, but they had to be regular on chatShaala as well, because that is when they would have interacted with other students who are maintaining home labs, and that could have lead to continuity. So somewhere this particular thing is what we have to understand, that you can't rely on one single place where you have everything. You need to have multiple home labs, and that's how we could have sustained it. But anyways, we all make goof-ups. What is important that we learn through those goof-ups and we go ahead. So the idea is this particular national meet that we have is. One thing is that it gives us a platform to talk about our work. The other thing is that we also want our Somaya to develop as an active hub. Okay, so learning from the goof-ups, it's important that we learn through those lessons and move ahead. Where I would encourage all the students to be involved. So our students I would want them to interact with all the other CUBists, because this particular national meet would give an impetus to them to interact with all, to start interacting and see to it that the earlier mistakes do not happen. Okay, so and I say this just before the winding up session, because then how do we go about doing that? That is why I chose this particular timing to talk about it. I won't talk about it further because we don't have much time. So going further, I just wanted to add one thing. So this is apart from Cube. So if you go further. Yeah, so last year, Nagarjun sir and I tried certain experiments, okay, where Somaya, so basically Cube is all about collaboratively understanding biology education, but Arun would also agree that this particular model could also be applied to other subjects as well. And last year, what we did is, so if you look at this is collaboratively understanding biology education, but you spin the wheel and you say that it's also, we also started with something called as collaboratively understanding psychology. Okay, so collaboratively understanding psychology, that is CUB. And on MetaStudio, not many of us know this, and we need to do that. On MetaStudio, GN, Nagarjun sir, actually created a chat on that is called as the CUB chat, where we can have discussions on psychology, and we, those who are interested, basically, it is currently not at a stage where we are doing project-based learning. It should be, but at least what we are having is interactions. The way we have STEM chat, the way we have other chats. So there is a certain dedicated page on MetaStudio where people who are interested can actually get involved. Those who are interested in psychology, we can actually discuss, have chatShaala kind of sessions, and have a talk about psychology. What we are also doing is I'm interacting with the in the Arts and Commerce College. I'm interacting, currently I interacted with the history department, and I would want to start this, that collaboratively understanding social sciences as well. Okay, certainly at a very nascent stage, and certainly I would need help of the Arunan, you and Nagarjun as well. But this is something to talk about going beyond CUBE. Okay, if we come back to what we want to do over here, the major thing is that we would want to develop Soma as an active CUBE hub, and suggestions are welcome of how to do it. And certainly some of the things we already know. We just have to we need to get our students be involved, make them attend chatShaala on a regular basis, see to it that they update, make updates. As Arunan always says, it all begins with a photo. You just have to click a photo and start doing that. So many of the things we already know, but more suggestions are certainly welcome. And fine, so I won't take much time. Let's go ahead. But before we go ahead, and I hand it over to Jaikishan to start with the winding up session. I would just want to thank, so Santosh Kundu sir over here. We were talking about volunteers. We wanted to do it that time itself, but he wasn't there at that time. So thanks, sir. Thanks for all the technical assistance that you have provided to us for all these 4 days. Without you, I think many of the technical part would not have been possible. So from everyone over here, thanks to you. Okay, so with this, I will hand it over to Jaikishan. Jaikishan, you can. Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. I think Meena want to talk about the feedback because we won't get a chance. Very quick.
See this is last slide. It's black.
So hello everyone, it was very nice to interact with you people. I enjoyed your company on all the 4 days. I hope you all also enjoyed our hospitality. And I would like to Apurva to share the QR links for the feedback forms. So your valuable feedback for all the 4 days would be important to us. So I would request everyone to fill the feedback form. So the QR code would be displayed on the screen. It's for all the 4 days. So it's a humble request that please spare some time to fill up the feedback form because it is important to us. Thank you.
Please take the photo also of this and share it.
So it is for all of the 4 days. Now those who are present only on the last 2 days, please don't fill it for the first 2 days.
Okay.
Because it will not match with the attendance. Just again, please display.
Display photo. Take the photo and share in the group. It will reach like. Okay, so I will just so like we had an amazing 4-day session here, like 2 days of workshop and the 2 days of national meet, and we had like fantastic presentations of all the groups. I was just finding which model system, like which organism we didn't cover. Like we had from microorganisms to you can see the plants to the animals to the lastly we also had a bird model, the cuckoo model. So it's like almost everything we are covering, like Cube is having like reach to almost all the organisms we are dealing with. So as we are dealing with the organisms, we are not only getting the exposure, but we are also doing the research. Some frontier research questions we are asking in each of the model system. So like anytime we do the research, we also like there's an importance of data, right, and documentation. So now you can see this is a platform which is completely dedicated for Cube, and this platform actually allows you like to document and record each and everything. In fact, this 4-day session also, like event also, I have actually recorded like here. You can go to Cube chat. Okay, I'll just show that little bit. So this is a Meta Studio platform. You can get this link, like we will share the link also in the group. So when you enter this platform, there is a dedicated place for Cube. So Cube chat, it's called Cube chat. So when you go to Cube chat, if you click that, you will see lot of posts. Go down. You can see lot of posts which are there. Yeah. Maybe you can log in also, because yeah, there are some of the posts coming here. Okay, so so almost most of the presentations which we had here are already like being documented. Click one of the blog here, one of the article. You can see it is already getting published. Like I am only doing that. So these are the presentations, like presentation wise, each of the presentation we are trying to get it on the documented and recorded at the ongoing time on this platform. So there are some presentations which will be missing, but as we have the recording, we will also like put it here again. So there are a lot of you can check that. Yeah, these are other. You can check that C. elegans. There was a presentation. There was a other presentation also. Yeah. So like that, all the presentations which we are having, like we are getting, we are documenting here. Whenever you are doing your work in your home lab or in your college lab also, you can use this platform, okay? And this, as we are already using the like groups in which we are already share, we have to share that, and every time we have to discuss. But also some of the things you can take a summary out of it and upload it here so that it will be recorded forever, okay? So whenever somebody is coming next, like they want to refer something, they can refer our work, and this is also visible on the internet. So it can be searched on the Google search. If you do Google search, it will be coming. Lot of like work people have done like 2-3 years ago, and now CUBists who are joining, they are referring their write-ups, their data. So this is like is a complete repertoire of data and documentation. Everything is happening currently. So I will recommend all of you to join this platform. You can sign up from there. Sign up is visible. So if you go to the link, can you share the link? What is the link? Name of the link is visible. metastudio.org. metastudio.org. So when you click metastudio.org, you will reach this platform. Then you can sign up there. Once you sign up, then you can you will get an email, confirmation email. Then you can use that username and password to log in. Okay. Once you log in, you can go to Cube chat and start writing. Okay. Now, as many people are new here, I will request all of you to join this platform. Like some of the students had joined. Like when you join initially, some things you cannot do because like you cannot upload a photo, for example. There are some, like initially the platform, you have to use the platform. Like you can write something, you can comment, you can like some of the posts. Then the platform will allow you to do more and more things. Like you can later on, you can upload the videos, you can upload the photos, you can upload the links, PDF, document, anything you can do. Okay. So I just wanted to give a brief idea about how we can use metastudio.org, which is a dedicated place for Cube documentation, and follow this up later. And whenever you are working in your labs, you have any observation, you can put it here and share in the WhatsApp groups, because the link can be shared everywhere. So this is how we are actually, documenting the entire stuff. Nothing is getting because we are trying to document as much as possible during the whole this event which is happening. We are documenting that event also. There's a YouTube live streaming which is also getting documented. So all the places we are trying to, all the things we are trying to record. So I will, I hope we'll be going back. This is just the workshop and the event which happened. This is not end. This is a beginning. We wish we hope that everybody will be going back and they will be starting cube lab, home lab at your place, at your college, at your homes, everywhere. And please discuss anything you have, share it in the groups everywhere. Thank you. Okay, I think we can next we can also wind up session. I think we can check session.
So now I request another to
We can write with a name here or marker.
So that's a misnomer. I am not here to wind up. I am here to continue. Okay. So how do we continue? That's what I think Ashutosh was telling, Dave was telling. How do we continue? I think Ashutosh was talking about the group of study. That's very important. Why things get stuck. As people have been mentioning about it, I always say that take a photo and send. I just wanted to tell probably two things, very simple things. One is that I think we were discussing about it here. Education, there was a quote I think somewhere somebody has given. Education is not something that we teachers do to our students, but we do along with our students. This is for teachers. This is for teachers. The moment that teachers do something to the students, students will not like it. Yeah? In the sense, students will not like it means they are not going to eat it like an ice cream. You understand that what I'm trying to say? But if the teacher do it along with the students, I think it will be something like an ice cream or something. Everybody will love it. I am talking about my personal experience, both as a student and also as a teacher. Okay. That's the first point. I think somebody has given this quotation earlier. This is a very serious study done for 10 years in US. Vision and change. Very, very serious studies on how education, what is actually happening in science. And this is vision and change. So I think it tells a lot of things. This one sentence. That education is not something that we teachers do to our students, but we do along with our students. I think we did along with some of us teachers. We did along with people like 7th standard student like Abhijit. Okay, and so still we go hand in hand together. Okay, this is the first point. And watch. That how do we continue it? One is that teachers have got a major role in it. I hear that teachers say that we are too busy, students are too busy. That's all. Okay. The other is which I often say that. See, what as biologists we study enzyme action, catalysis. That catalysis enzyme activity. We say that bringing the activation barrier. How do we bring the activation barrier so that activity can proceed? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So there's an activation barrier that's why people are not coming in and joining and enjoying learning, enjoying studying, enjoying discussing. Now I'll just end up with this understanding that I have of reading. I was a very bad science student and I used to read a lot of literature. So one of the areas in literature is called existential novels, stories, existential stories. I don't know whether you've heard of this. So one of the very famous existential novelists, Albert Camus, I used to say that the greatest problem that human beings face is lack of audience. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, food is a big problem. You don't have food, that's a real problem. But he says that the real human existential problem is lack of audience. You want to say something and you don't get audience. What does that mean? So here in Cube, we get the audience. Or we are, see that people from Bamgar gets audience in Cube, chatShaala and things. Anything that you write, anything you post, immediately there will be some response that's coming. So the real existential problem, what the existentialist philosophers were talking about, we are trying to solve it, or we got it solved to a great extent by providing audience. So we have so much of audience, not only this, you have seen the audience across the country from Jammu and Kashmir to different parts of India. So I'm going into a little philosophy to say that it's not difficult. So the moment audience is there, it's an enzymatic reaction. Your activation barrier is brought, anything you can say. I don't think otherwise Ashutosh should have come and said that, okay, this is the proof of and stuff like that. So the activation barrier has come down. You know, there is an enzymatic reaction that's going on. So can we proceed to do that? By my simple suggestion is this: anything that you see, just take you have the camera, the mobile camera. It's one of the greatest sophisticated equipment that biologists can get. Like last one of the sessions, somebody said that you take a small lens from this and you make such fantastic. That's not the thing, but you can communicate with people. Instant, like he was just doing it. Whatever was happening, he was taking photographs and sending it. And across the country, people are saying it. And he was telling in Meta Studio that means any Google search you do it, you will get it. People across the world get it. So very simple things. Again, I am ending with the existentialist philosophers' point that the lack of audience problems get solved. You are getting a huge amount of audience. Please consider that to be one of the greatest what? Assets. So please make use of that. I won't say that any other thing that will happen. All other things will follow accordingly. And for the last 13 years, more than 13 years that we have been developing this is what I think we learned from. I learned from it. Most of us I think can see that. So that's what I would like to tell you. And things will go. No problems. I think you have such interest in some knowledge, activities. This will happen. Only things that you'll have to reduce the activation barrier and say, this will happen. All the best.
Okay, so the link for the Meta Studio is just written over here, metastudio.org. And I would give the mic to Kiran for the vote of thanks, but I will also repeat this line that let's continue, collaborate and communicate, and let's start playing the STEM game. The Cube Somaya Lab is from now open to all.
Good evening, everyone. So today I would like to extend the vote of thanks firstly to Arunan sir and GN sir for initiating this Cube Hub, wherein we all CUBists can interact, we can share our opinions throughout or across the country. Secondly, I would also like to thank you, our veteran CUBists, who are constantly giving their support, their opinions to our upcoming Cube members. And third, I would also like to thank, Santosh Kundu sir, who was always here for our technical support. Apart from this, I would also like to mention one thing, like today being the last day of our national meet, I would like to thank Tirtha especially and Lakshmi for mentioning this statement yesterday that let us not stop over here. Instead, we should initiate the infection of the cube within our society. So this was the best statement which I could find in whole of this Cube National. Thank you everyone for your active
So let's also not forget the audience that we have online on the blue button. So, and GN has already written that thanks to KJ Somaya College for hosting this event. We are very thankful to the KJ Somaya College, especially to the Department of Botany. And so I would request Inas, GN, Hemant, and Mohammed Yusuf to switch on your web camera so that we can go ahead with the group photograph.
I would request all of you to join here for the group photograph.
Hemant, are you there? Can you also switch on your camera? Mohammed Yusuf. GN, please come in the picture. We will capture you online.
गिरन ना वो रिमोट दे दो आप आ जाओ फोटो अच्छा कैमरा यूज करके आप भी आ जाइए
Wait for me.
right hand city.
And I would like to invite everyone to join our daily discussion forum Cube ChatShaala every day from 7:30 to 9.
And become coordinators.
So let's continue the game.
Of course, he is the greatest teacher.
Yeah, bye, Jian.
Only teachers. All lectures. Professor, come.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Jian, you are audible. Others can sit here.
Okay, happy STEM games and bye bye.
Teachers है.
Down हो गया. कैमरा फोड़ गया ना यूज करके सच में नहीं करते Correct.
एक सेकंड मुझे वो डाउनलोड करना है।
Okay.